Howdy from Arlington, Texas, y'all. I hope this video finds you healthy and well. So I've seen quite a few. I think somebody's doing a contest of the five things about me, five things you don't know about me, whatever it is. I can't recall who it is, but I'm kind of enjoying them. I'm liking hearing some random things, so I figured I'd do one too. So this doesn't count as one of my five things, but the reason I'm wearing these sunglasses is they're prescription. My other ones are good, but I have did about 2.5, 3 hours worth of yard work today, and I'm pretty sure I got some good sun. And if I didn't have these on, I might look pretty funny. Well, funnier than I actually already look, and you are seeing my face now for the first time in probably close to a couple months because I shaved everything off completely and did not like the result. So bear with my sunglasses and my general douchebaggery in this particular video. So 5 uninteresting things about me, because let's be honest, everything about me is uninteresting, and I'm just gonna call them uninteresting facts like Bob Lewis. Number 1, I never stopped collecting cards. I hear that all the time. Oh, I got to high school, or girls' cars, whatever, and I quit collecting. I never did. I discovered probably about 9th grade that I didn't know it then, but now looking back, I see it. I'm an absolute introvert. So I didn't have a lot of friends, which was fine with me, and in reality, I still don't, and I'm cool with that. But yeah, unlike most people, I never stopped collecting, so I've been collecting since 1987. Now, I don't have many of those cards left. If you've watched some of my old videos, you've seen probably about the handful I still have from my youth, but, I've done a lot of card purges over the years. So, anyway, that's number 1. I never stopped collecting all the way through high school, college, everything. There were some lean years, but was always collecting. Fact number 2, I have lived in 10% of the United States. And when I say that, that has nothing to do with my size and how large I am. What I'm referring to is I've lived in 5 different states. I don't know a lot of people that have lived in more, and 5% doesn't sound that impressive. I thought 10% sounded better. So, was born in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was less than a year old. My mom and I moved to West Virginia, which is where I grew up, and went to high school, went all the way through high school, went to the West Virginia University, got a TV and radio broadcasting degree that this is about as close to using it as I've ever come. About a year after I got out of college, I started working I took an assistant manager job at the Hat World store in Morgantown, West Virginia. Less than 6 months later, was a store manager. About 6 months after that, my manager asked me to move to Pittsburgh to run a challenging store there, so I ran that for 13 months. Ran an even bigger store, the Robinson Town Center, which at the time was in the top 10 percentile dollar amount in the company, and was on pace to have its best year when I took a job with the Lids corporate office, moved to Indianapolis. So lived in Indianapolis for the better part of a decade. What was it, about 2006 to 2014, so 8 years. And been in Texas since September 18th, 2014 was the day that I flew down here on a one-way flight. And I guess we'll go ahead and roll that into my third thing, how I met my wife. Well, I met my wife. She's lived here most of her life, like me, she was born in another state, but she moved here, at a couple years old. So this is really all she knows. But I met her through a radio station in Fort Worth, KFDW, or what? KFWR, Fort Worth Radio. It plays what you call red dirt or Texas music, country music. So met her on. You could listen online. They had an app. You had the website. You could listen, but they also had what was called the Wall, which was kind of like an old school, like an old AOL chat room. And a lot of people, you would talk there, and you'd be on there at certain times of the day, and it'd be the same people. So you became friends on there, and then slowly people would add Facebook friends and so on. And that is how and where I met my wife. Just on there. We had actually been like Facebook friends for about a year. I left my job at Lids, and when I turned in my notice, they walked me to the door. If you were going to a competitor, they would not keep you, so they paid me, and I had a week off. And in that time, we had just started chatting more on Facebook, and boom, that is how I met my wife. Going back, it's funny how things work. You think 2002, I stayed at my mom and dad had gotten divorced and, or had separated, I'm sorry. And I stayed at my mom's some nights, and one night I was sleeping on the sofa, woke up in the middle of the night, and there was this song by this guy named Charlie Robison. And he had gone to Nashville, but he was a Texas guy, and he's in that red dirt genre. And so late, fast forward to Indianapolis, I listened to a lot of by the way, I'd listened to a lot of Charlie Robinson. I had all of his albums. Fast forward to Indianapolis, I decided to try to find a radio station that played that kind of music. And it led me, and that internet research led me to the radio station, which is how I met my wife. Ridiculous, long story. But you know what? A few months later, by the way, after we started talking, we met one Friday. She messaged me. She's like, got paid today, got no weekend plans. We've joked about it, but you want to meet halfway? We both, after work on Friday, drove to Memphis and met each other. We're, together for 36 hours, and on the way back, on my drive back to Indianapolis from Memphis, I was calling people, working phone, trying to find a job down here. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. So I moved down here. It only took that was in July, and I moved down here in late September. So all worked out well, and now she is my lovely bride. Number 4, man, I am taking forever on this. Sorry, guys, but yeah, number 4 here. I was in attendance for Michael Jordan's first home run with the Birmingham Barons. I mentioned earlier, was born in Birmingham, so I would go back in the summers and spend, 2 to 3 weeks down there with my grandma, and then my aunts, my aunt and uncle, my cousins, who I've mentioned in previous videos. And just so happened that one of the nights we went to the Barons game, my grandma took Jeff, Doug, and myself, and we went to the game. And it was funny, if you go to look it up, there's not like much good video. I don't remember all the details. I don't remember the inning in that, but I know that the Barons were just getting beaten badly, and it was late, so it was probably like the 7th inning or something, and Jordan had come up and was out, ended the inning, and it just seemed like everybody left. Nobody thought he was going to get up again. And then I think they had a big inning maybe in the 8th, 9th, something like that, and he got back up, and, he knocked it out. And so, of course, one of the first things we did when we got home was went to ESPN, because we're like, oh, this is going to be all over ESPN. We're going to get to see it again. I think all there is some rough home video, because everybody had left. So if you ever go to look that up, that's why you don't see much. And finally, the 5th thing, part of this probably if you've watched a lot of my videos, but my 5th one is I love dogs, but I don't like kids. I'm just not a kid person. I also say that I love most animals more than I love most humans, and, take it for what it's worth. It's the truth. yeah, just not a kid person. Obviously, you know, the ones that are close to me in my life. You know, I've got a stepson that I love to death. I have a niece, yeah, my sister's daughter, that I adore to no end. Even though I really haven't gotten to see her but a couple of times because she lives in West Virginia. You know, and then some, you know, family, you know, little ones, but that's about it. I don't think kids are cute. I don't think they're funny. The only time I think they're funny is when they're brutally honest and say something that you wished you could say, but you know you shouldn't. And that I find funny. That I find amusing. But in general, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm just not a kid person. Some people are not animal people. I'm not a kid person. Just don't, you know. It is what it is. Everybody always used to tell me, oh, when you have your own, it's different. Maybe, but I'm still, you know, gonna love my child, but I'm not gonna love everybody else's children. Just not my thing. Don't know. Which is funny because when I was younger, I wanted to be a pediatrician. It's funny how things change. But anyway, there you go. 5 things you didn't know, or maybe you did, or maybe you knew part of them. But anyway, we'll leave it there for now. I am going to go out and I am doing burgers, some brats, and some hamburgers on the grill because it is a beautiful day in Arlington, Texas. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Happy collecting, y'all, and I will see you down the road.